Hey, web designers and developers. Listen, if you're building accessible websites or you want to, we need to talk because so many web designers and developers who think they're building accessible websites really aren't. And I know this because I've done accessibility audits on websites that were built by some of them. And I've also seen the websites of web designers and developers who think they just created an accessible website. Well, you might think that using an accessible theme makes your websites accessible. You might think that testing the site with a screen reader makes your websites accessible. You might think that getting your sites to pass an automated checker or more than one checker means your sites are accessible. You might even think that adding ARIA to HTML tags makes your sites accessible. And you might also think that ticking off a list of WCAG guidelines will make your sites accessible. And heck, you might think doing all of these things will make your sites accessible. But let me tell you, this is not the case. And I'm telling you this because you could get yourself in hot water and you could get your clients in hot water. And I don't want to see that. Now, first off, there's much more to accessibility than a theme. Many themes have accessibility issues, and some of them have major ones. But themes also don't affect the design or the text or the images or the audio and video on the site. And they also don't do anything for the downloadable documents like the PDFs on the site. Those are often overlooked. And when you test and only test with a screen reader, you're ignoring so many other groups of people with a disability that's not even related to the use of a screen reader. And as for automated checkers, they can only detect about 25% to 30% of issues. And some are better than others. Some are also worse than others. And some can find more things on one site than they can on another site that you check. The majority of issues require human inspection and manual fixing. Now, when it comes to ARIA, adding more is not better. And I see this all the time when I do website audits. In many cases, where I see web developers adding ARIA, it was not only unnecessary to add it in the first place, but it made the accessibility of the site much worse. I mentioned WCAG a moment ago. You could potentially check off a list of WCAG guidelines and still end up with an inaccessible website. So many guidelines are open to interpretation and they're unclear. And one of my students even said they made her eyes glaze over. And how would you know if you're even interpreting them correctly? So if you want to learn more about how to get into web accessibility and find out 3 common mistakes, register for my free workshop on September 1st. Go to bit.ly/3easysteps4. Talk to you later.